Hello and welcome to the show. I've got 3 more vehicles today trying to survive the Wreckoning for as long as possible. And we start with the Bolide, a classic supercar, and a vehicle that is probably not quite ideally designed for this kind of a challenge. Admittedly, yes, it was actually quite good at the Baja circuit to an extent. Bits of the car, like the engine and radiator, for example, drive shaft and so on, can survive relatively well, as you can see. Well, the engine's in the back there, and that kind of avoids a lot of the damage. The problem is, well, low-slung supercar suspension and the wheels pinging off. I am expecting to see the car lose a wheel, and I'm expecting that to be the way that it goes out. However, I've thought that about cars so far in this series, and none of it's happened, so you never really know. The plus side, of course, for the Bolide, plenty of speed. We've got the 350 GT version. There is, plenty of speed in this car, so actually clearing these jumps shouldn't be a problem. Even when the vehicle gets slightly damaged, I would expect to have more than enough speed. When the steering starts getting damaged, then we might have other problems. But as far as starting speed goes, we should be good. In fact, the chassis has taken the brunt of these first impacts. I'd kind of rather have that than it be the actual wheel axles. Like, I'm okay with the chassis getting a little bit buckled. I mean, I'd rather it didn't, let's face it. But if the chassis gets buckled up slightly, I can, live with that. I can manage that easier in terms of driving. To an extent, if it starts lifting wheels up through corners, then it's as good as having broken the steering. So, yeah, for now, I think it's a relatively good actual first couple of jumps. How are we going to fare across here? This is the big one. It is down with a crunch. Steering check, seems okay. Steering seems fine. I think we lost a window somewhere, but nothing too major. Oh, all of these little potholes you go across, it's just you're never quite sure which one, and it will only take one. I suspect this will be one of those cars that will go until it has a big crash, and that one big crash will wipe it out. Some vehicles can keep going. This might be the big crash. No, it's not. That actually worked out very well for the Bolide. Landed completely on the nose, flat in the nose, but that's not a problem. The rocks and pothole alley might be. The rocks and pothole alley might be for a very low-slung supercar, especially one with damaged suspension and potentially buckled chassis. Fuel tank ruptures, tyres punctured, that kind of thing are all possible, although we do have good steering in this car. So when it comes to pothole alley, we are... Oh, I say that. Oh! I say that, and as we came off of the banking, the car is being pulled to the left. It has taken, so I wasn't expecting that. It does pull to the left. Okay, well, the radiator has gone. Interesting, actually. We never saw the radiator die at the Baja circuit. It did hit the pothole pretty viciously, but there we go. That's... Oh, those bumps are horrible. Yeah, crap. Come on, car. Let's recover you. Let's get you back on your wheels. Oh, dear. Oh, okay, we've got big problems. Big problems are befalling the Bolide. I think the chassis is scraping on the floor. Now, it's very, very difficult to tell if that is the case. I don't think the sand makes a difference to the traction. And this car's got off-road tyres, so it shouldn't be. Oh, maybe it is. Okay. Oh, we're out. Maybe it was just the sand. Maybe it was the bodywork stuck in the sand. I've not actually had a car do that to me before in the sand trap on the exit of kind of turn 1. That's interesting. Interesting, to say the least. That has caused the Bolide some troubles here. It's now overheating very quickly because I have to work the engine a lot to simply try and get it out of that, stuck out of the sand trap. There we go. My brain will remember the word. We've made it anyway across that big jump for the second time of asking, which is better than a lot of vehicles have managed, and that is all down to the car's speed. Oh, I thought I'd saved it. I hadn't. We're going to go for a roll. The dangers of trying to catch the car when it's on 2 wheels, I am very aware in this, is if we land on one of those front wheels while it's turning, big possibility to simply rip the wheel straight off. We have got some damage going on at the front now, gradually increasing. Okay, well, I mean, the wheel axles, the wheels themselves have survived better than I might have initially expected, although any one of these, a little awkward on the landing, a little awkward bump somewhere, could see the wheel just ping straight off. The temperature is right at the top. The engine will give up. Will it give up before we make a third lap, though? That is the question that we have here. Oh, it's lovely having the speed to be able to perfectly position the car across those. It's really nice to be able to say, right, I want 50-something miles an hour, and we can get it with plenty to spare. The pit is our next big jump zone, and we had problems there last time. We landed very heavily on the nose of the car. Will we make it? Will we make it this time around? We are bobbling about. We are going... That's a bit better jump. I say that. It's a bit better jump in terms of... Well, we didn't face plant it, but have we caused issues with the wheels? No, wheels are okay. We're across the rocks. We're fine. Now, this is where the Blazer overheated, actually. It was coming up this hill the Blazer gave up. We have made it further than the D-Series. Oh... the piston rings are damaged. The engine is not long for this world. It might be able to even coast its way on towards a... right, it's the banking off there, I think, that caught me, plus the slightly buckled steering. Caught me out and put me into trouble along the potholes. Well, the oil is overheating. We're on to a third lap, though. We are on to a third lap with the Bolide. And that included getting stuck in a gravel trap with the... with the car. Oh, the suspension isn't happy. Now, we haven't had conrods go yet. We haven't had head gaskets gone. Now we've got power issues, I think. We may struggle to make the jumps if the engine keeps going. Oh, wheels gone. Wheels gone. We've lost the front left. Good, I'm glad we haven't got an entire thing without the wheel. At least one wheel falling off of the Bolide. Left wheel axle's gone, conrods are gone, front right is gone, steering's dead, engine's dead, all at once. That was just it. That was it. It had it. It made lap 3, and it made it further than the Vandal. It made it further than the Vandal. The wheels, both the front wheels, fell off within, well, a couple of 100 meters. The engine dying. I think the engine kind of dying caused the second wheel because we just couldn't get any power to take the jump. The front wheel was actually, though, lost because of the bouncing around. It's, yeah, steering and overheating got the better of the Bolide. However, a very, very good performance. On to lap 3. I mean, it's, what, 4th place overall. So... yeah, that's actually quite a lot further than I was expecting the vehicle to go. Up next, we have got the ETK K-Series, another vehicle in which I am half expecting a wheel to ping off. At a relatively early point, the ETK, as I said with the 800, these are notorious for having weak suspension and weak wheels. They are stronger than they used to be, but is likely to be a point of failure. Now, this K-Series has probably got the best shot of most of them. It is all-wheel drive, so if we lose a rear wheel, we aren't completely and utterly scuppered. It is relatively powerful. It's got a turbocharged 6-cylinder engine, so we should have more than enough speed to be making the jumps, even with a little bit of a poorly car. Although, one big hit, and I have no doubt that that will be game over with the K-Series. First time across the jump. It's a little bit twisted. Amusingly, we land on the front left, and it's the the front right, and it's the rear left that's got broken. Fantastic. Come on, car, make it across the next jump. Ugh. We are across there, just about okay. Radiator's gone. We've now got a fair bit of camber going on with both of our rear wheels as they start to bend and buckle. They haven't pinged off, though, so that is something. If we do lose a rear wheel, we're probably not going to have the speed in the front-wheel drive car that this would end up as to drag its way over the sort of jumps, although we might do it. It might just be able to make it work. It's more losing, well, both the front wheels, much like we saw with that Bolide. That would give us some grief here. Come on, across the big jump. Now, once more, we are perfectly okay to... oh, not quite timed that one right. Thought I could be clever. It was not clever. I mean, I guess like landing on the roof is probably one of the safest ways, because while it will eventually, as you land on the roof a couple of big times heavily, and then you will get into trouble, just sort of landing on it for once. Can we actually get the car to roll over, please? That would be helpful. Just landing on it once like this, yeah, will damage the roof, but that's not affecting any of the mechanics. The important bits of the car are not affected in in that roll. If, of course, we keep landing on the roof, though, it will eventually crush the roof down until we then start landing on other bits, which isn't ideal, but for now, we are still good to be going. Will we clear the pit? Yes. Will we do it a little bit wonkily? Yes. Have we lost a front left wheel? I think so. If we haven't lost it, yeah, we have. Front left's gone. We were at all sorts of a wonky angle. Oh, problems. Get across the river before we, well, I say drown the car. Perhaps the bigger concern is the rocks puncturing the fuel tank. Have we lost the other wheel? Yep. Steering's gone. K-Series is dead. The landing of the pit took out one wheel, and we could have survived with that one wheel missing. I'm not actually sure what bit killed the... I can't handbrake the car and get it round because it's the wheel's centre is pointing it so far left that trying to turn it right is just going to go straight. And, well, we've taken off the door and into the river with you we go. Apparently this river is of one of those magic non-water rivers. I don't know. Either way, it's broken. It's gone. It's useless. Yeah, we didn't actually lose a wheel, but the steering got so buckled that we could have carried on. So, it's not last. It's not last. There's a couple of places above last, but the ETKs, well, fall to their usual problems. And finally today, moving away from the sports/supercar section we had going on, we have got a heavyweight, the EU semi-truck. Now, this is likely to struggle. The heavyweights are not traditionally very good when it comes to, well, destruction circuits. The problem is, while yes, it is strong in a crash against a car, it is not so good at flying through the air. There is so much weight, so much momentum behind all of the impacts. It's liable to kill its own drive shaft or wheel axles or just, yeah. Now, this has got the best chance of anything. It's got the most powerful engine I can put in. It's the smallest version of this truck. So it might have the speed to make the jumps, but in having the speed to make the jumps, that might throw up its own sort of set of problems with the, truck kind of, disintegrate that drive shaft. Or it can just twist through the air. That's not great. That's not great. Interestingly, drive shaft didn't say it snapped. Engine said it turned off. But, okay, your drive shaft is not gone. I wasn't quite expecting that, not when I saw the angle we were flying at. Oh, that's a painful crash. The issue is that we can't really get going fast enough at the moment to clear the rest of these jumps. I fear this might just about hit everything as it's going around. The back is at an all manner of wonky angle. Not really what you want, but the truck is still going. Astoundingly, the truck is still... Oh, God, the truck is still working for now, but the twist on that axle isn't great in terms of it allowing... Yeah, the diff. The diff might cause some problems here. If we go over a crest or go over a bump at a wrong point, especially on the approach to a jump, we might suddenly lose power and then, well, plummet to our doom even more than we're going to probably do if the truck was in pristine condition. Mud flaps are, well, making life a little bit awkward. The front wheels are okay from all this. The front wheels have survived pretty much unscathed. Now, it's showing us buzzing the limiter. I know we're not. Oh, that's not... Actually, that might work out okay. Yeah, at least landing on the cab means I'm damaging that and not damaging anything else. Like, if we want to front flip and land on the cab as much as possible, that's fine. We can wreck the cab. That won't really impede our driving ability of the vehicle. This is basically going to have big crash after big crash, I think. The twisting up of the... Actually, I don't even know if that front flip hasn't fixed some of the issues with the back of the truck. It now looks better on the floor than it was beforehand. We do need a lot of speed to clear the pit nicely, and I don't think we're going to get it. We're going to, crunch down on the... kind of on the centre of the chassis. But still, the drive shaft lives on. The chassis, not so much. The drive shaft's okay, though. Rocks, I wouldn't have thought they were a problem. However, the way that we've damaged this, they wouldn't normally be a problem, but the way that the back of this is, well, yeah, pretty much falling apart, that might cause issues further. We've got debris falling off underneath. I don't even know what that was, where that came from, but whatever it is, we don't need it anymore. It's gone. Pothole Alley might not be fun. We do just about have enough steering. Talked about cars before, and then it turns out they didn't, like the Bolide. No, we do have enough steering to get away and stick down this side. And there is, yeah, more, I say, enough steering. We're going to start getting thrown about in no time. Come on, truck. Stop bouncing and wobbling and farting around in the air. Either way, we're on to a second lap. Which I wasn't necessarily sure we were going to be getting. I was not expecting a second lap necessarily out of these heavyweights, but it is still amazingly soldiering on. We are going to have even less performance now, though, to try and clear this jump, and that was a jump that we couldn't do previous time around. It's going to hit even harder here. The question really is, how many of these massive impacts does it take to stop the engine or stop the drive shaft? Here we go. Through the air once more. Oh, or we can just lose a wheel. Or we can, oh, there goes the drive shaft as well. At least it was spectacular. At least it went out in a spectacular fashion. Yeah, that's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. It made it onto a second lap. You know, it didn't quite go as far as the Stubby T series, because that was just a smidge, well, kind of about over where the wheel is. Where the wheel landed up is about where the Stubby T series, I think it's just a fraction before that. But, yeah, a bit too much damage, meaning we couldn't take any of these jumps cleanly, is always likely to end up in trouble. It survived 2 huge impacts, absolutely massive impacts around the course of that first lap, across the jump over there, and the one further around the back. Massive, massive crashes that kept on going, but too broken a truck meant not enough speed over this jump. We might have possibly got away with it if we'd managed to not twist on the takeoff. The truck was having real problems with twisting on the takeoffs of the jumps. Maybe we could have done, although I'm not sure how long that drive shaft would have lasted, because that was, yeah. That was, I mean, obviously it was heavily weakened because the initial impact took off just the wheel, but it was kind of as it tumbling, that's what killed the drive shaft. Yeah, the Euro semi-truck struggled as you would expect, but it isn't last. It isn't last. It did a hell of a lot better than semis were faring at the Baja circuit, that much is for sure. On to our results table, and it's the Bolide that does best for the day, and I think a very, very good showing from the supercar. It claims a 5th spot in the standings. It goes a fraction further than the H25 Vandal, a big off-road van, and the supercar goes further than that. It beats the all-wheel steer Pazima as well. Can't quite beat the all-wheel drive Pursue. That made a few more corners before the second of the drive shafts went in. That about 2 laps down, sorry, on our chart-topping Evo 9. The K-Series went out with a fairly expected failure. Survived the initial big hit, but across the rocks, something did damage to the sort of one working wheel and killed our steering completely. With our lap 2 death jump, little child, the Euro Semi is right in the mix here. A better showing than I expected from a kind of conventional heavyweight truck, I'll be honest, around this circuit to have made it this far. It doesn't quite beat the Stubby T series. It's a very, very similar crash, a very similar position to the 94 Comet, although the Euro Semi is just a fraction bit behind it. But it does mean it beats the Moonhawk, it beats the Barstar, it beats the 200BX Cup car, and so on. So a good showing from that vehicle. That, though, is going to be it for this video. As ever, I shall link all the mods I've used in the description so you can download them, have a go with them yourself. But thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.